Gravel is hot. It's really popular, and we have the World Championship coming up in Belgium, so it's no surprise that some brands are releasing their newest gravel bikes, and here with Conway they have their newest electric gravel bike, the Nyvon 12, a flagship model that's really supposed to carry this brand into electric gravel biking. Today we're gonna have a first look at the specs, the price, and if it's worth it compared to the competition. Let's go. It's available in 4 different options. The Nyvon 12 is the one we're covering here today. You have the Nyvon 9, the C10, C standing for commuter because the bike's slightly adapted to fit a commuter role, but we'll get into that later on, and the C8. The flagship model, the Nyvon 12, the highest spec, is available for around 6,000 euros or dollars. 5,899.95 euros to be exact. And that's quite pricey, but keep in mind it's a flagship model, the highest spec of an already premium brand. So let's get into the details and see what this is all about. The Nyvon 12 stands for 3 things. It's light, it's powerful, and it's top-notch, top quality. But let's start with what they make themselves, the frame. It's a full carbon chassis, and that's what makes this bike light. Now, with 14.2 kilograms or 32 pounds, I can already hear some of you think that's not that light. It is quite light for an electric bike. It's maybe not the lightest for a gravel bike because those are around 9 to 12 kilos, but it is light for an electric gravel bike, keeping in mind that this has a strong mid-hub engine compared to others who have that engine in the rear wheel. Secondly, I said it was powerful, and that's definitely one of the strongest points. That Bosch SX engine, a mid-hub engine with 55 Newton meters and a max peak wattage of 600 watts, that's quite powerful. It's comparable to a Bosch CX, and on a mid-hub it will carry you up very steep hills very easily. Attached to that we have the 400 watt-hour Bosch battery, and that's quite a heavy battery, meaning heavy, it adds some weight to the total bike, 2.6 kilograms if I'm not mistaken, but it also allows for very long rides, so that's a pro and a con that you have to take there. And that's also why this bike is full carbon. They needed to save those kilograms somewhere because the engine and the battery together is almost 5 kilos already. But it is top quality, top notch. And that's the third characteristic of this bike. So is the rest. The brakes, the engine, the frame, everything is super. And it's also equipped with the SRAM Force AXS, which is also really top-notch, top quality, definitely for gravel bikes. It has that integrated chain management system that allows you to have more chain control and less chain slap, which is perfect for gravel biking. And so with all those 3 things in one bike, it's really meant for all roads, long distances with a lot of electric support should you need it. With that 14.2 kilos, well, if you add the pedals and maybe some luggage racks, because it is a gravel bike and they have those mount capabilities, then you're looking at 14.6, 7, maybe 15 kilos in total. And that's definitely not the lightest electric gravel out there, but it might be one of the most capable ones, and that's something to keep in mind. On this bike you have a 400 watt-hour, you have the possibility to have the range extender for Bosch, which you can equip on the bottle mounts, which allow for an extra 250 watt-hours, so really meant for very, very long distances. You can go over 100 kilometers with this e-bike. Other lighter electric gravel bikes might be a bit lighter and so easier for you to do some extra kilometers, but at the same time they won't support you electrically all the way through. So it's really something to keep in mind. What type of gravel biker are you and what type of electric support do you need? With this bike you also have the benefits of that mid-hub, so uphill much easier. It's also very natural while you cycle. Not saying that that's not true for engines in the rear wheel, but at the same time you do have some benefits. The con being that extra weight. And so let's go through the specs of the bike and see what it looks like, because it really is a nice bike. It has a nice feel, a nice touch, and everything looks top-notch, top quality. Here we see the simplicity of the integrated Bosch SX. It has a controller here integrated into the frame where you turn it off and on, where you also see your battery level. And then on the handlebars we have very simple up and down switch. Let's see what Conway has to say about their own bike. No path, no mountain, no distance. That's definitely true thanks to that Bosch SX engine. It's their top model. It's also quite pricey. We see here the price noted up top in euros. For those curious, that's about $6,400, $6,500 maybe. They also mentioned that it's feather light. Of course, we've covered that. It's quite light, but not the lightest. And you pedal like a normal gravel bike, which I'm certain is true. On the bike, we have up to 5 mounting points for anything extra. And as mentioned, you have the range extender. The frame is carbon as well as the fork. The crank arm is also carbon. The brakes, lever, the rotors and everything else is part of the SRAM Force, which is a 12-speed. In the middle of the bike we find this Bosch Mittelmotor, the Performance SX, 250 watts, but of course, as mentioned, a higher peak output. The battery 400 watt hours, and then we have the tires Schwalbe as well as grips and saddles from Physic. Now I did forget to mention that it's available in 4 sizes, so here you go: large, medium, small and extra large, all riding on 28-inch. Total permissible weight 130 kilos, and then the weight of the bike without the pedals 14.2 kilograms. I did say that this bike was available in different models, so the commuter version has mudguards, it has a flat handlebar, at least one of the two does, and it has some different options and specs. The SRAM Force is only available on this Nyvon 12. As soon as you step down to the Nyvon 9, which is also a gravel bike, then you have the SRAM Apex, which is still good but not the almost best of the best. And the bike comes in at 15.2 kilograms, so there is a kilogram that you add somewhere in these specs. That one is available for 4,399.95 euros, which is a whopping 1,500 euros less. Definitely worth considering if this Nyvon 12 is just a step too high. This one, giant discount. The commuter versions, the C10 and the C8, start at 4,899.95 and go down to 4,399.95. With this addition of luggage racks, mudguards and everything to make it a commuter model, you're also adding some kilos, so keep that in mind. It's still a very light urban commuter bike at that point. And that kind of does it. I don't want to make this first look too long because I still need to have something to say when I'm actually testing the bike and reviewing it. Hopefully I'll see you back for that. And until then, have a great day, week, month, whatever. If you like this content, like and subscribe. You can always leave me a comment. I appreciate it. And I'll see you, or you'll see me, next time. Bye.